Hello, Farhan.
Hey Gregory, how's it going?
It's, it's okay, it's good. I'm not working today. Rest. In the morning we have a competition. My daughter competed in swimming in nearest village,
Uh-huh.
and it's going to be a nice day. And how are you?
Good, good. I'm doing well. I worked on some projects. See all the stuff behind me? We were writing today.
Wow.
Yeah, my friends and I, we were doing a lot of work on different things, different projects, and I think I have a good business idea. So I will share that with you guys maybe in the next few weeks. My new business.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will glad to see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to design it online, especially with all the technology that we have. So
Uh,
it's going to be
it's
good.
web design. Web design.
It's actually going to be something related to education. So lessons online or some kind of other information. Maybe I can teach.
Languages.
I think
Languages.
maybe languages. Yeah, maybe languages. I'm thinking of different ideas.
You
Different
good
languages.
teacher. You good teacher.
Yeah.
If you have a private lessons, glad to join to you. But not so. Not so. I lost the word. Sorry.
No worries.
Uh,
That's fine.
Not so
Uh,
expensive like
uh,
Kalinga want.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm gonna try to see, other opportunities that are available, definitely for pricing and things like that. It could be that's something that I have to work with my friends to figure out. But yeah, I'm excited. We'll see what happens, Gregory.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, besides that, I mean, today was really just a normal day. I'm thinking whether or not I should go home in December or if I should first go home to my city and then go visit my parents, or if I should just go directly from California to visit my parents. Um, the idea is that if I go from here back to my city, then I have to drive again maybe 40 hours, right? 40 to 60 hours. And it's a long drive. It's in the winter. So I don't want to risk maybe snow or bad weather.
You're right. You're absolutely right. The danger trip, don't take it to be safety.
Yeah, to be safe, I think what I'm considering now is just
Safe,
flying.
safe, not safety, safe.
Yeah, yeah, to be safe, I think I'm just going to fly back to my parents and then I can fly from my parents' home city back to California. My car can just stay here in California.
It's rent car, yeah, not
Yeah,
your own car.
it's no, actually it is my car. My parents gave it to me, I guess. So I didn't buy it. They just said, "Okay, you can have it." Because
Ah,
yeah, when I left my parents' home, I had to drive to come to my city in back in Wisconsin. But they told me after 5 6 months, they said, okay, you're stable, you have a job, you know what you're doing, you can keep the car. Maybe I think they were thinking, oh, if he comes back, who knows? Maybe we should keep the car. And the car was in my mother's name. It was my mom's car, but then she decided to just give it to me. So she doesn't drive too much. She stays at home most of the days. Maybe she goes shopping or you know visits her friends, but not very necessary. Um, so yeah. It is mine, but rental would be extremely expensive if I kept a rental car for 2 months or 3 months. It's a lot of money.
and what is this car after the
Uh,
stay in California and
After that,
uh,
so what I need to do is my lease in Wisconsin. So that's where I live. That's the room that you guys remember with the picture in the back, right? Uh,
yeah,
Wisconsin, my lease for my apartment expires in March. So if I come back, I go home December. I come back to California in January. Within the next 2 months, I would have to decide where I need to go. Maybe with my graduate school. If I go to graduate school, then I need to think about, okay, do I move to my graduate school? Depends if I have successful graduate school applications, right? If they accept me, maybe someplace in Texas accepts me or someplace in California accepts me, then I need to move to the new city. Uh, at that time, in the March or in the springtime, I will drive back to Madison, back to
Mm,
Wisconsin, and then move from there to my final destination. So,
I see. I see.
yeah, I will drive the car, but not in the winter.
Hmm.
At least not in the winter across the entire country.
I never drive in the winter because in Israel isn't winters real winters. They
Yeah.
have season winter. For us, it's raining. Maybe it's a lot of rains, but never snow and never so cold.
hmm Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
it's always plus, never minus.
It's never minus. Yeah. Here we have, I'm sure you have experience with cold weather, I'm sure from Russia, you know.
Yes, but I don't have a car. I
Uh-huh. So you didn't
use
have to.
buses and trains. I'm not. I was not so rich for buy the car.
Yeah, it's young people here also. It takes time to learn
No,
how to
because
drive. It's a big investment.
you know, if Soviet Union was luxury.
hmm
Car only. Not so much people have the car, had the cars.
hmm Yeah, it must have been very difficult actually. Now I think in Russia it's much more affordable. People have cars, right?
Yeah, it's like like Europe.
Uh-huh.
But in the past it was very luxury.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, it's completely understandable because especially also if you look at the other kind of Asian countries, right? Over the past 20 years, for example, my parents' country, when they talk about India, when they talk about Bangladesh, right? In 1985, 1990, when my parents were still, relatively young, when they were in their 20s, late 30s, right? They were, or late 20s, early 30s, they said it was impossible to find a middle class family with a car as late as
Hmm.
1990, 1991, 1992. But then in the middle of the 1990s, around 1995, and then after the internet bubble, so we say, they say in English the dot-com bubble, right? So all of this technology, India and Bangladesh, many of these countries, the middle class became wealthy. It became more capable of buying luxuries like cars and other kinds of things, right? So it was actually
And
unusual. Yeah,
in Israel, I think too much cars.
really, there's too many.
One family sometimes has two cars or
Uh-huh,
more, and
uh-huh.
not rich. Just wealthy families have. And if you poor, you can buy old car. It's good.
Yeah, my car is old. My car is from, I think, 5 or 6 years ago, so it's not brand new, right? But in my group of
It's not,
friends,
for me, it's not old. For me, it's
it's
okay.
still, yeah, it's still a new
My
car.
car,
Uh-huh.
my car, 8 years old, and I think 3 years it will serve me.
hmm Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my friends right now in our group of five friends, me and four other friends. You saw my friend Haroon the other day. So Haroon, me, we have three other friends. We are five young guys, right? No wife, no kids, just mom and dad, right? I'm from New York, or I'm from Wisconsin. My mom and dad, they live in New York. My other friend, his parents live in New York. Nobody lives in California. We are all in California, just living here, designing what we want to do, designing business, designing all these kinds of ideas, right? Um, The
And
idea, uh,
you rent an apartment?
it's
Are
actually
you rent?
it's actually a house, so it's actually a much bigger house, right? So you can see maybe it's a large house with living room, table, and everything. I mean, it's a complete house actually. So four bedrooms, three bathrooms. It's a very large building.
And
And re
how much is it?
Oh, the rent per month is $5,000.
$5,000. So
Yeah,
nice.
it's a ridiculous amount of money. This is one of the most expensive areas in the whole United States. San Jose, this area in California, the rent is incredible, extremely expensive. Gas is extremely expensive, right? The only reason we can survive here, Gregory, is because we are young. We eat whatever. We don't take care of what we. Well, actually, no. One of my friends is a very good chef. We do eat well. We eat healthy. We go to the gym, right? But we don't have any real dependence, right? And out of our five friends, five cars. Each of us has a car because we drove from everywhere. One friend drove from Florida. One friend drove from Texas. I drove from Wisconsin. One friend drove from New York. So if you look outside in our house, you see five
If
cars.
if I was in your place, I was rent modest apartment, but eat more.
Yeah, yeah, I know, I know. Here in my house, we are all trying to lose weight. Every one of us, right? So me, I started the process, I think, 2 months ago. I've seen results because when I was traveling from my old job, Gregory, I ate like an animal. I just ate whatever I found. I was always traveling, always traveling at my old job, right? So now I have a place. I'm
I
working.
I I have small advice for you.
Yeah.
You 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 should eat in sensitive. You should understand what you eat all time, and in the evening before go to sleep, you should remember all what you eat in the day.
Yeah, and
If
count
I
count the
ask you,
calories, right? Yeah.
or you ask yourself, you have list. I eat this, and this. Uh, that means you should have all control what you eat.
hmm hmm Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree. So today, for example, Gregory, I went to a restaurant. I ate. It was kind of like a shawarma, right? Normally, I don't eat something that heavy. Shawarma has beef, has lettuce, all that stuff. Very, very Middle Eastern.
But it's
Tomorrow,
tasty.
it's
I like
tasty.
shawarma.
It is. It's extremely tasty. But once a month, maybe maximum, right? Every other day, I eat sandwiches. I eat vegetables, fruits, and I have an application on my phone actually, Gregory. It's called My Fitness Pal. I think I always get it wrong. My Fitness Pro, My Fitness Pal is the name of it. My Fitness Pal, right? My Fitness Pal, this application I recommend to anybody who wants to lose weight. Anybody, okay? You download it and you can choose the food. It automatically calculates.
I send it to my son. He's very fat and he try to lose weight,
hmm
and maybe it's good for him. It's
Yeah,
a little program.
yeah, just a
Little.
small application on your phone, right? So if you check at the bottom of the phone, it's called it's hard to see on this, but My Fitness Pal, it just sits right here on my phone, right?
Mm,
And I lost 16 kilos in the last 2 months.
16.
Yeah, or actually, no, I'm sorry. I lost 11 kilos in the last 2.5 months.
16 is so much.
Yeah,
I
16 is a
see
lot.
you. Not believe.
Yeah, exactly. 11 kilos in 2.5 months. 2.5 months. Yeah, and I'm still doing it. I'm losing weight every day. I check. I see what I eat. I'm tracking my weight. I'm tracking everything I do. Right, going to the gym, exercising. It's a fantastic program. Fantastic program. You just have to write. You go into it and you write. I ate 1 cup of rice. So your son, he should also measure the food. He needs to measure the food. 1 cup, 1 ounce, how many grams of rice, how many grams of meat, right? And then you just put it in this application. It will do the math for you, right? it will say you have 600 calories you ate today. Don't eat anymore, right? So for me, my way is I do 40% protein, 30% carbohydrates, right? No, actually 35% carbohydrates and 25% fat. And I don't even reach my fat. I never reach my fat. Just the normal food that I eat, I don't eat that much fat. So mostly protein, chicken, beef, right? And then carbs, rice or bread, but it controls it with this application. So every day I'm losing a little bit more. My goal
Good for you.
is, yeah, yeah,
You know,
it's really good.
you know, I need it too, this
Hmm.
program, because I want to lose weight, and it's very hard for me.
Yeah, check out this application. They also have it online. So if you don't want it on your phone, you can also get it online, right? You can just
But
download. Uh,
problem not application, problem is will.
mm-hmm.
I have not enough will for doing
Uh-huh, the willpower.
willpower. Yeah,
My willpower is really
uh,
strong, Gregory. I
I
my
think
will.
all people know what to do, but willpower it's a problem.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I agree. Willpower is a big problem. But check it
and
out. Check it out, Gregory. I think you'll like it. Yeah.
remember after that, for example, you reach your purpose and you right way. After
Uh-huh.
that begins the real problem. Not
Yeah.
to add, not to add, because a lot of people reach what they want, but after that it's very hard to keep this way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sister of my wife reach right weight. After that, he ate more than it was in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
Gregory, it's a change in lifestyle. 100% change in lifestyle, right? So today I couldn't go to the gym, but I have to go tonight. And after this class, after the next class, maybe 2 hours after that, I have to go. My gym here in California is it's open 24 hours a day. I have no excuse. I have no excuse, right? I have to go. I have to burn calories because I was skinnier before I started my old job, Gregory. I was much more healthy, eating, living, everything, right? And then my old job, I was always traveling, very difficult lifestyle, right? So it got very, very different. It got very difficult for me, and now I'm back to that same,
Let me
old
advise.
level. Yeah.
I'm not going to the gym because it's time. I have problem with time, but I
Uh-huh.
have a park near my house, and I walking. I
Yeah.
walking half hour, 40 minutes. It's very good exercise, and you spend calories,
You do. Yeah, you can burn a lot of calories when you walk. Yeah.
and maybe I'm not so young, and you can run or jog.
It's all about weightlifting, Gregory, all about weightlifting right now. It's the big muscles. I want the
Okay,
muscles.
big muscles.
Yeah.
Who need big muscles for what? Big muscles.
Uh, Maybe
We
for
all,
girls. For girls,
all
Gregory. For a wife.
girls, no, girls. It's not right. Girls who interested in muscles. Right? Girls
Uh-huh.
interested in intelligence. Intelligent.
Uh-huh. I don't know, Gregory. Some girls really like muscles.
As it's not girls. You need it.
It's true. I think my parents would say the same thing, honestly. But also for myself, I want some muscles, Gregory. Why not, right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It's good for if you feel good with it. It's okay. But we all office workers. Uh, Muscles. Okay, a little muscles, not.
Not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's good, Gregory. Awesome. So, Gregory, let's get started a little bit, right? I know we love our conversations, but in case there are people watching, let us actually begin with this idea of when we are talking about the the idea of the phrase used to, right? So we're talking about when we were talking about used to in English, right? Used to is we use it for many different situations, right? The first, when we use used to, is when we're explaining about something, an action in the past, a habitual action in the past that somebody doesn't do anymore, right? So habitual action. So I used to eat well when I was a child or when I was younger, right? Which
Okay.
means I don't do that anymore. Yeah, go ahead, Gregory.
Okay. You want example?
Yeah, whatever you like. Yeah, let's give it. Let's use an example. I know you've had this class before, so
Uh, uh, I used to go to the gym when I was young, and
yeah.
I used to work hard in the gym. Uh, I used to like
Uh-huh. I used to like athletics.
athletics.
Yeah, so we need to make it plural at the end, right? So athletics is going to be plural. So I used to like athletics, right? Now, for example, the situation is different. So when you're using it like that, the situation now is different.
Now I don't have time for that. I like it, but I don't have time.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. So, and then the second use of used to, right, is when we are talking about something that you are that you are accustomed to, that is easy for you, right? And this is when you are using the verb to be, right? When you use I am, you are, he is, she is, they are, we are, right? And then if you use the subject plus the verb to be and then used to, it means that the action is easy for you, right? So I am used to eating correctly using MyFitnessPal, right? I'm used to it. Every day if I eat something, I always write it in MyFitnessPal, right? So I am used to it, right? What about you, Gregory? What is something that you are used to?
I'm used to walking uh, all morning,
Uh-huh. I am used to walking each morning.
each morning. Yeah,
Each morning, right? So I'm used to walking, let's say, for 45 minutes each morning, right?
35.
35 minutes. Okay, sure, no problem. I am used to walking 35 minutes each morning, right? It's something easy for you. It's become a habit that you are
Uh,
continuing, right? So I'm
and
used to doing it.
sometimes I have classes when I walking. I have classes, bilingual classes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I am used to have classes, bilingual classes when I walking.
Fantastic. I am used to taking Colingo classes when I'm walking.
Um,
Yeah, right. Taking classes or participating in classes, right? Fantastic. That's really good. And then another way that we can use, right? We can use used to is if we use it in the past tense, right? So if we use it in the present tense, the understanding is okay. This is something that you do normally, not a problem. Okay. But if you use it in the past tense, right? I was used to something. You were used to something. Then the meaning is that now you are no longer as comfortable as before, right? So I was used to, uh, for example, eating healthy, right? But maybe when you were a child, or maybe when you were younger, you did it, but now you are no longer used to it. It's difficult for you, right?
mhm.
So the meaning is really kind of the same as if you say, I used to do something. I was used to, and I used to. The meaning is not that different, right? Except with the case of I was used to, you are focusing much more on the aspect that now you are no longer comfortable with it, right? You were
Mm.
so good at it before. You were always doing something before, very habitual, very easy, but now you're no longer used to it, right? Yeah.
I was used to eat a lot of cookies, sausages, and soft drink, but now I eat healthy and not eat things at all.
Yeah, fantastic, right? Fantastic. And then the last example, Gregory, is when we say got used to or getting used to. So if I say I am getting used to something, what does that mean, Gregory?
I don't know.
Yeah, so if I say I'm getting used to something, right? So I use I or I as subject plus the verb to be, so am or are, right? Am, are, then I
Ah,
said
it's a future. I getting used to. It's a future.
it's not 100% the future, Gregory, right? It's actually,
It's my plan. It's my plan.
yeah, you're in the process, right?
Hmm.
You're in the process of of becoming accustomed to something,
Hmm.
right? You're in the process of thinking, wow, okay, now I need to do this. I am getting used to walking every morning. So you're in that process.
I'm mm, I'm getting used to learn English all each all day each day.
I'm getting used to the verb after that actually has to be in the ing form, Gregory, right? So I am,
Learning
yeah, fantastic. I
each
am
day.
getting used to learning English each day.
Hmm.
Yeah, fantastic. And then what is the difference between this and got used to? So if I say I got used to, not I am, but just subject plus got used to, and then a verb that ends in ing,
Good.
right? So that means, is it a plan, or are you already at that level, or did you already complete your plan and you are successful?
It's past. It's now. It's happened now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So for example, if you say I got used to something, you are doing it normally now, right?
Hmm.
You're no
Hmm.
longer in the process. You completed the process, your project is over and you're okay, right?
Hmm.
So that's the benefit. That's the benefit that we see for something like that, right? And last but not least, right? Last but not least, actually, I think that's it. That's it in terms of what we are looking at here. Any questions on any of that, Gregory?
No, so much information. Uh, I after our class, I repeat all that and listen what you say and try to learn and used to.
Okay,
Uh,
sure thing. Sure thing. But I can quickly review it also right now, Gregory, right? So the first thing we said was normal used to, right? Normal used to is the subject plus used to. I used to eat shawarma every day for lunch, right?
mhm,
That is something that you did in the past habitually, every day, every week, every month, something that you did habitually. It was a habit, right? But now you no
Habitual.
longer do it. Yeah, but now you no longer do it exactly, right? And then that was actually very similar to I was, I'm sorry, that is also the same as if I say I was used to eating shawarma every morning or every day for lunch, right? Because it's the same idea. It's that you're saying that the first example, you're saying that you used to do it in the past, it was an action that you always did. And the second example, when you say I was used to, all you're saying is that it was something that happened in the past that you are no longer doing. So you're emphasizing the fact that it was in the past more so, right? I was used to, you're emphasizing that really, really strong, right? More than I used to, right? So that's the first big difference between those two types, right? Then the second type is when we say I am used to, right? So when I say I am used to, that is just the present tense, and that is saying something like you are now accustomed to an idea. You are now, it's easy for you to do something. You are comfortable with doing it, right? I am used to recording my food on MyFitnessPal, right? So I used to and I was used to, similar idea, right? But was used to is a little bit more emphasis on the past, right? I am used to is all about the present, right? I am used to driving, I am used to walking. Not a problem for me. All of these are easy for me, right? The next one is I am getting used to, right? And getting used to is that you have a plan for the future, you have a process, and you are still in that process, right? You have not succeeded in finishing that process. You are still in the middle. So, maybe you start MyFitnessPal just 2, 3 days, right? Oh, you don't know, is it good? Is it bad? Is it working? Do I have the willpower, right? I am getting used to using MyFitnessPal, right? And then once you reach that stage like me, where MyFitnessPal for me now is completely normal, I use it all the time, then you can say, I got used to MyFitnessPal. Right? Something in the past that you had a plan and you already finished that plan. That plan is easy for you. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe when you listen back to the video, you can listen to just that one part instead of having to review everything. Hopefully that helps.
I go to order all this information
Yeah.
and practice.
Uh-huh. Fantastic. And as always, Gregory, let me know. You have my email. Let me know if you have any questions with any of this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, any questions or whatever you need help with. Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem. So let's take a look, right? Let's take a look at this article today. We're actually reviewing the Hong Kong and the Philippines, right? So these two countries, Hong Kong and the Philippines, have a little bit of a diplomatic situation between them. And it's not a happy situation for many people, right? And let's see what they're talking about here. So let me share this link with you very quickly. See, we have discussion article, this, okay. So here it is. It's actually from Voice of America News, which is this other website that I suggested to you, Gregory. It's really good for news and things like that. And I'm going to go ahead and screen share this guy so we can see it. All right. So, Hong Kong calls for Philippines travel ban, right?
What is it? Travel ban?
Travel ban.
Sorry, you let me interrupt you, so I
Yeah. No, not a problem at all.
use this opportunity.
Absolutely. No, you don't have to say sorry. That's absolutely perfect. I want you guys to always ask me questions, right? So a travel ban is when you prevent people from traveling to your country.
Uh-huh.
Right? So to ban something, ban is actually a verb, right? For example, you can say the government banned marijuana everywhere, right? So it is now illegal to have marijuana anywhere, right? So here they're saying that Hong Kong has banned travel to all citizens of the Philippines,
I
right?
see. Okay.
Yeah. So let's see why though. Why is this the case? A diplomatic controversy between the Philippines and Hong Kong is growing after Hong Kong lawmakers approved a measure late Thursday night that would place visa restrictions on Philippine citizens. Hong Kong wants an official apology from Manila, this is the capital of the Philippines, over a botched hostage rescue attempt 3 years ago that left 8 Hong Kong nationals dead and wounded 7 others. Right? What does this word botched mean, Gregory?
No.
Yeah, this is actually a very good word, right? And it's a little bit more advanced word. We use it a lot, for example, in criminal investigation.
Make something wrong.
Yeah,
Botched.
a botched rescue attempt or a botched situation is a situation that did not go according to plan, right? So mistakes were made and there was a problem, right? So there was a situation 3 years ago in the Philippines when the Philippine police tried to rescue some hostages, and instead of rescuing them, they actually ended up dying, right? So three Hong Kong citizens and three Hong Kong citizens were, I'm sorry, 8 were killed and 7 were injured, right? Even though the police were maybe trying to free them, right?
But what's the reason? Why they do it?
Why did
Why
we?
they need hostages?
Oh, I don't know. We have to read the rest of it, I think. Maybe they'll tell us here. Let's.
Who is this lawmakers?
Lawmakers. That's a good question. So, lawmakers are people who sit in, for example, the parliament in Israel. They have the Knesset, right? So, people who sit in the parliament are called lawmakers. So, here we have the United States Congress. England has the Parliament. You know, where they make the rules. Israel, I think. What? How do you guys pronounce it? Is it pronounced the? Is it pronounced the K? It's pronounced. It's written K-N-E. So is it pronounced Knesset
Sorry?
Is the word in Hebrew, is it pronounced the Israeli Knesset?
Knesset, yes.
Knesset, yeah.
Knesset.
Knesset, yeah. So it's the location in Israel where all the lawmakers
I
in
see.
Israel go to the Knesset. Yeah, it's their big building, right, where they make the laws. So to press Manila for concessions, right? To press Manila for concessions, the Hong Kong Legislative Council, so this is their Knesset, passed a measure that would revoke the ability of Philippine passport holders to go in and out of Hong Kong without a visa. So right now they don't need visas to travel, but the Legislative Council, Hong Kong's own, Knesset, decided
It's
to,
want visa regime.
yeah, they want a visa regime for the Filipino citizens, right? So the Hong Kong Council also proposed a ban on work visas for Filipino domestic workers seeking new contracts starting in April. It also wants to limit the time that workers renewing their contracts can stay and do away with contract extensions. A lot going on here, actually. Any questions on this paragraph, Gregory?
No, it's more or less understood.
Yeah, so they want to ban the work visas for people that would start work in April. They also want to limit the time that the contracts can stay, right? So if somebody is renewing their contract, before maybe they could stay in Hong Kong for 2 months while they were renewing their contract. Now they're going to limit that time, maybe make it 2 weeks or 1 month, right? And they will do away with contract extensions. What does it mean to do away with something?
The way to close, to end of the
To remove, right? To actually,
remove.
yeah, to
Yeah.
remove it or to finish or to end something, right? So do away with something. So they will no longer they will no longer be allowed to extend their contracts. They will do away with contract extensions, right? So besides an official apology, lawmakers want Manila, this is the capital of the Philippines, to give compensation to the victims and family members of those who were killed, right? So they want to give them compensation, and they want the government to penalize officials who
What
were,
is
I'm sorry, go ahead.
penalize?
Penalize,
Penalize.
penalize is when you are punishing somebody, right? Put them in jail, give them a sentence, right? Do something to them that punishes them.
Like penalty in football.
Absolutely, exactly. Penalty, penalize,
Mm.
right? So they want to penalize, Hong Kong wants two things. First, Philippines needs to give the people who died, they need to give their families, compensation. And they need to penalize the officials that were directly involved in that hostage rescue. And also number three, they want the Philippines to put measures in place to guarantee tourists' safety, right? The tourist safety needs to be guaranteed, right? Philippines has not made an apology. After this entire situation, Philippines did not make any apologies, right? So, let's see. This is a long article. Okay, we're going to go here. Last month, President Benigno Aquino said that the act of one individual, this is the person who took the hostages, right? The act of that one individual who was probably mentally unstable at the time should not be construed as the act of the entire country, right?
What is it construed?
Should not be representing, right? Should not be representing the act of the entire country. So she's saying, this one hostage taker, right? This one criminal. Okay, he was mentally unstable. Okay, he killed 8 Hong Kong citizens, right? He did a terrible thing. But that doesn't mean you should be labeling the entire Philippines for this mistake. For his
Mm-hmm.
for his killing, you should not penalize the entire country,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and then the administration, so this is the Philippine administration, is calling on citizens to keep their spirits up and not to worry because the government is working hard in their interest and for their welfare, right? So the Philippine government is still saying, please, keep calm, it's okay, we will try our best to fix the situation diplomatically, in other ways. We need to be careful about this, right? And so this is what actually happened, right? This is what actually happened. In August 2010, a heavily armed former police officer hijacked a tour bus of Hong Kong nationals at a popular Manila park and demanded his job back, right? So this guy used to be a police officer, right? He decided to hijack this bus, and his demand was that they
What
give
is
him.
it? Sorry, hijack.
Hijack is when you take a bus hostage,
Ah.
when you steal a bus and you say nobody can leave, nobody can come in until somebody gives me what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he wanted his old job. He was a police officer.
What is
He
it? Sorry, demanded his job back.
Yeah, so this
Uh,
is yeah. What do you think it means?
uh, demanded his job back. Maybe it's. I don't know what is it.
It means that his demand, his wish was that his job is returned to him, right? Because he used to be a police officer. He was fired maybe, and his demand
Ah,
was give me back my.
I see. I realized. Okay.
Yeah, so he wanted his old job as a police officer, right? Maybe they fired him, maybe he left, right? So SWAT officers, right? SWAT, these are the Special Operations Police, you know. SWAT officers botched an ambush-style rescue attempt. When the disgruntled officer, Rolando Mendoza, found out about it and fired shots that killed 8 and wounded 7 other nationals, right? The saga was broadcast around the world. So the Philippines police, they wanted to rescue the hostages, but they botched that attempt, right? They were unable to. They were unable to do anything, and this guy, the the actual criminal, he found out about it, and he killed 8 people and hurt 7 other people, right? So it's a big, big situation, right? And when we think about this problem, it's one of those questions. I think it really boils down to who is responsible for something like this, right? Should the entire country of the Philippines be penalized, or should it be something that is less that should be dealt in a more diplomatic way, right? That's the central argument, right? That's what people are talking about, specifically in this case. But does it surprise you that that Hong Kong? I mean, it's been 3 years. This is August 2010, right? It's been 3 years. Why now do you think Hong Kong is saying all of this stuff about Philippines visa regime and all these kinds of things?
Maybe there are other political problem deeper, and it's only what we can watch, but something under that we don't understand and we don't know.
Yeah.
For example, Israel has a political problem with Turkey, and there was conflict when our soldier killed. But it's a long story. But Turkish government demanded apologize and demand compensation for families of killed people. But our government say no. Turkish was guilty in this situation. So they make this situation. So if you watch only what happened, you don't know why. But there is a lot of reasons under that political. Turkish government demand want to be dominate in our area. And, they not accept our government not to accept that. And what we can show only scam. You understand?
Yeah, I was in Turkey just 1 year after that incident, actually, and the Turkish people were extremely upset with Israel. extremely upset. They were telling me, "Did you see what they did to our people on the boat in the Mediterranean? You know, they were, you know, they
Ah,
killed."
you know the situation with
Yeah,
boat.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The float, the
Was
Gaza float.
it was peace boat, but say go to the Gaza, and we won't prevent. Uh, it's forbidden. Go to the Gaza. We make blockade
Hmm.
of
Blockade,
Gaza,
yeah,
and
blockade, yeah.
they try to broke the blockade. And it's not so peaceful trip because they have weapon and it not was peaceful man.
Hmm.
It was very armed and very sort of bandits.
Yeah.
And our soldiers was is very bad situation. They go without real weapon. Uh, uh, so no, you understand. This was very suspectable situation,
Hmm.
but all this stuff it's only um, we can see. You understand me, okay?
I do, I do, I do. Yeah.
Real reasons it's political, deep political conversations
Hmm.
uh, collide with our countries. And
Yeah.
before that,
Uh-huh.
okay,
Go,
what
no, go
was
ahead,
it?
go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Please, 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 please go
Before
ahead.
that, it was between Israel and Turkey. It was a peace and agreement. And a lot of Israelis going to on vacation to Turkey,
Hmm.
and now it's a regular situation.
So situations between Turkey and Israel used to be better.
Used to be better. I
Used to
hope.
be better. Hmm. You know, I can completely understand because when I was there, man, people were telling me, "Did you see what they did? Did you see what they did? Did you see what they killed our people? Blah 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 blah." But then I read the story. I saw the video from the Israeli army, and I saw the video was showing that these people were attacking the soldiers. I mean,
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
it's a difficult
The,
situation, you know, because the video
this night,
clearly shows.
no,
Yeah.
attack with knights, and there was picture when one of peacemen was with big knife.
Hmm.
After that, and removed this knight from picture.
Hmm. There's so much stuff going on politically, right? Who's wrong? Who's right? You know, and but I mean, when I saw the video, I said, this is not something that is a peace flotilla. You know, I mean, literally, I saw the video. The guy was there was an Israeli soldier, and he was saying in Hebrew, you know, we have knives. There are knives here. They're attacking us. What do we do? What do we do? I mean, it was a very scary situation for you know for the entire people, for everybody, not just the soldiers. Of course, there were innocent people also, right? There, not everybody on the boat
Our
was
soldier
was.
want only stop them, not kill, but they attacked, and one of our soldier has a real, only one of our soldier has a real gun,
Hmm.
so he begin shoot.
Yeah. And but I mean, it was tough because it was a larger group of ships, right? And also, not everybody on that boat was crazy like some of those people with knives, right? So that's why the Turkish people, when I talked to them about this, they said this was not appropriate. Israel did not do something right because there were civilians on that boat also. You know, there might have been children, maybe other normal people, journalists, right, who didn't have knives or guns or whatever, right? But once again, politics, right? So their government, the Turkish government, started saying this was a major attack. This was our people died, innocent people died. You know, they made the situation much more dramatic, you know, sensational. Sensational news
Uh,
is very good for politics.
And, yeah,
You know?
and our situation is in Israel very touchy. You understand this with Arab and Jewish, very touchy situation. It's uh, can explode, and suddenly Turkey interrupting our inside situation. It's not good. It's not well.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
uh,
Turkey
Other
is one
says
of
if Israel go to interrupt in Turkey inside situation, how it was for Turkey.
yeah. The when instead of saying inside situation, Gregory, it's a little bit better to say domestic situation.
Domestic
Domestic
situation.
situation, yeah, because domestic is inside a country, international is of course outside the country, right?
Hmm.
So you can say the word domestic. It's much more professional also to say, you know, if Turkey tried to disrupt Israel's domestic situation.
I think a real reason was the Turkey was interrupt in peace process and
Hmm.
dominate in peace process. All this, Russia was interrupted in peace process and dominate, and Turkey was uh, interrupt, and but Israel want only United States judge
Hmm.
judgment.
Hmm.
You see, in all this go to interrupt in peace processes make only bad.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's really, I mean, the peace process between Israel and Palestine, or the Palestinian people and Israel, it is. I mean, when I was, you know, studying in the university, there were courses and courses just for this one topic, just for this one
Process.
topic. Entire courses, one semester class, right? You can study for one semester, one course just on Israel and Palestine, right?
Mm-hmm.
The history, you know, everybody from Ben Gurion to Golda Meir to Moshe Dayan to Netanyahu. I mean, the entire family of Israeli politicians, right? How they started, the three or four big wars: Lebanon, Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt. I mean, the entire area is just a continuous confusion. Continuous confusion. The confusion never ends, right? One day this happens, the next day this happens, this meeting, that meeting, negotiation, no negotiation, settlement, no settlement, I mean, it's very, very difficult to understand what will happen there, unfortunately, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about Philippines and Hong Kong,
Yeah.
I don't know all under reason under what happened in Philippines and Hong Kong
Hmm.
uh, between this country. Maybe competition.
Yeah, competition, and I think Hong Kong is just very upset, right? But do you think, last question for you, Gregory, do you think it's fair for Hong Kong to penalize the entire country like this? I mean, visa regime, Hong Kong is a very popular, tourist country. Filipino people, they love to travel. I saw Filipino people, even here in California, they were tourists, right? They love to travel, they love to see other countries, right? This Hong Kong needs the money, right? They get money from all the tourists and things like that. Is it fair to say this for the entire country?
Sure, it's not fair. Uh, and sure, they need tourists and you cannot punish all nation
Hmm.
about uh, one accident. Maybe it's crazy man, just one crazy man, or maybe it's a group of crazy people, but it's not reason punish whole country.
Hmm.
Uh, and I sure all Philippines not thinking about that and not want something bad for other nation.
Yeah,
Philippines very delicate people.
yeah.
Philippines.
Very kind people, very fun-loving. They have a great culture. You know, I was surprised, and I had not even heard about this issue of this hostage crisis. I had no idea that this happened. You know, so it was a big surprise for me also. But well, Gregory, I like that conversation. We started talking about Philippines and Hong Kong relations. We wanted to talk about Israel and Turkey, right? And then before that, we looked at the used to stuff and the different uses of that. Did you have any other questions from the article, from the lesson that we looked at, or anything else like that that you wanted to ask about?
No, thank you, Farhan. It was good. It was very good class for me. Thank you very much.
Awesome. No, you're welcome. This is great. I have another one starting now. I don't know if you're free or busy. You have to pick
No,
up your daughter, I think.
I'm busy. I have
Okay.
abilities.
Uh-huh.
I have
Responsibilities.
duties. I have a
Uh-huh.
lot of duties at home.
Exactly.
So have a nice day.
You too, Gregory. It was good to see you again. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. So, I will share that with you guys maybe in the next few weeks. My new business.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will glad to see.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really fun to design it online, especially with all the technology that we have. So it's going to be
It's
good.
web design. Web design.
It's actually going to be something related to education. So lessons online or some kind of other information. Maybe I can teach.
Languages.
I think
Languages.
maybe languages. Yeah, maybe languages. I'm thinking of different ideas.
You
Different
good
languages.
teacher. You good teacher.
Yeah.
If you have a private lessons, glad to join to you. But not so. Not so. I lost the word. Sorry.
No worries.
Uh,
That's fine.
Not so
Uh,
expensive like
uh-huh.
Kalinga want.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm gonna try to see, other opportunities that are available, definitely for pricing and things like that. It could be that's something that I have to work with my friends to figure out. But yeah, I'm excited. We'll see what happens, Gregory.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, besides that, I mean, today was really just a normal day. I'm thinking whether or not I should go home in December or if I should first go home to my city and then go visit my parents.
Hello, Farhan.
Hey Gregory, how's it going?
It's, it's okay, it's good. I'm not working today. Rest. In the morning we have a competition. My daughter competed in swimming in nearest village,
Uh-huh.
and it's going to be a nice day. And how are you?
Good, good. I'm doing well. I worked on some projects. See all the stuff behind me? We were writing today.
Wow,
Yeah, my friends and I, we were doing a lot of work on different things, different projects, and I think I have a good business idea. So maybe she goes shopping or, you know, visits her friends, but not very necessary. Um, so yeah. It is mine, but rental would be extremely expensive if I kept a rental car for 2 months or 3 months. It's a lot of money.
and what is this car after the
Uh,
stay in California and
After that,
uh,
so what I need to do is my lease in Wisconsin. So that's where I live. That's the room that you guys remember with the picture in the back, right? Uh,
yeah,
Wisconsin, my lease for my apartment expires in March. So if I come back, I go home December, I come back to California in January. Within the next 2 months, I would have to decide where I need to go. Maybe with my graduate school. If I go to graduate school, then I need to think about, okay, do I move to my graduate school? Depends if I have successful graduate school applications, right? If they accept me, maybe someplace in Texas accepts me or someplace in California accepts me, then I need to move to the new city. Uh, at that time, in the March or in the springtime, I will drive back to Madison, back to
mm,
Wisconsin, and then move from there to my final destination. So,
I see, I see.
yeah, I will drive the car, but not in the winter.
Hmm.
At least not in the winter across the entire country.
I never drive in the winter because in Israel isn't winters real winters.
Yeah, or if I should just go directly from California to visit my parents. Um, the idea is that if I go from here back to my city, then I have to drive again maybe 40 hours, right? 40 to 60 hours. And it's a long drive. It's in the winter. So I don't want to risk maybe snow or bad weather.
You're right. You're absolutely right. The danger trip, don't take it to be safety.
Yeah, to be safe, I think what I'm considering now is just
Safe,
flying.
safe, not safety, safe.
Yeah, yeah. To be safe, I think I'm just going to fly back to my parents, and then I can fly from my parents' home city back to California. My car can just stay here in California.
It's rent car, yeah, not
Yeah,
your own car.
it's no, actually, it is my car. My parents gave it to me, I guess. So I didn't buy it. They just said, "Okay, you can have it." Because
Ah,
yeah, when I left my parents' home, I had to drive to come to my city in back in Wisconsin. But they told me after 5 6 months, they said, okay, you're stable, you have a job, you know what you're doing, you can keep the car. uh,
mm,
Maybe I think they were thinking, oh, if he comes back, who knows? Maybe we should keep the car. And the car was in my mother's name. It was my mom's car, but then she decided to just give it to me. So she doesn't drive too much. She stays at home most of the